Hey, what's up? Powerhouse Miniatures review of Horus Heresy Book 7 Inferno. This is the heavy support choices for the Talons of the Emperor. So in the previous videos we went through the Talons of the Emperor, special rules, war gear for the Legio Custodes and the Sisters of Silence. Then we looked through the HQ, elites, dedicated transports and troops for the Talons of the Emperor as well. And on this one, I think this is going to be the last video actually for these for the Talons of the Emperor. I'll put these up in a special playlist of just Horus Heresy Book 7 and Inferno, because I'm going to do little reviews on like most of the armies in this one. There's like the Space Wolves and stuff, which I'm excited about. So yeah, heavy support. So the Sisters of Silence Seeker Cader, which has got pretty much standard, and again you can pause it in this and you can read it yourself, but it's pretty much standard Sisters of Silence rules and stats. The Mistress has an extra attack and leadership. These ones have got a flamer, which is cool. Close combat weapon, over 18 armor, so they've got 3 up, and that's it. They can take the Acquisitor as the dedicated transport for 125. They can have up to 10 miniatures in the squad for another 10 points each. They can have psych out grenades. Now they don't. Okay. The unit may exchange their flamers for grenade launchers with frag, crack, and psych out grenades for 5 points each, which is really useful because that brings the range up to 24 inches, which still isn't that much, obviously, but still, that is useful for 5 points as well. That's not too many. And then of course you've got a good range. What I like about this army in particular is that most of the special weapons, a good number of the special weapons, have 2 firing modes, and the Sisters of Silence, of course, they're dedicated transport. The Charon? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Excuse me. The Charon pattern Acquisitor has 2 twin-linked missile launchers. So again, you can choose the fire modes between frag and crack, which is useful, and then the psych out grenades as well. So depending on who you're playing against, pretty useful. I might consider that, to be honest. If you had 10 of them with the grenade launchers, and you had a dedicated transport, the 24-inch range might be a bit of an issue, to be honest, because you have to get close enough to use them, and they're only ballistic skill 4. But for the points, again, if you had 10, how many would that be? 135 points for 10 guys with 10 grenade launchers. I mean, 135 with 10 crack grenade shots, if you're close enough, would take out more than 135 points worth of damage. I'm sure it would, without them getting wiped out. So there you go. And again, the Mistress can take, these are pretty much standard now. They can take power, weapon, hand flamer, needle pistol, plasma pistol, or Charnabal saber. Is that how you pronounce that? Charnabal? Charnabal. Yeah, Charnabal. I'm just making sure. I've never heard these things like said out loud before. So these ones, I'm excited for these ones. These just came out pretty much. They just came out from Forge World last week, and they come out on pre-order, and they're bloody expensive. Basically, it's a conversion kit. It's the Legio Custodes Sagittarum Guard Squad. So it's 51 quid for 5 miniatures, which is it's getting on the verge of like I'm never going to buy them for the price, basically, which is a real shame because so many people, like the default mode with Games Workshop is just to complain about the price, and I get it, and I just don't want to do that. I don't want to get into a price debate, but it is a problem because they are so bloody expensive. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, 51 quid, and basically it's a conversion kit where you get a normal set of Custodian Guard, or the Sentinel Guard, and then you get heads, shoulders and weapons for these guys. So they've got the Adrastus Bolt Calivers, Misericordia, the Refractor Field, Custodes Armour, so they've got 5 invulnerable. They're the same stat line as a normal Custodes, but they're 65 points each, and they can have a Grav Carrier again. So they can have Melter Bombs, Array Shrikes and Teleportation Transponders, and one guy can have an Adrathic Destructor and a Magisterium Vexilla. So the Adrastus Bolt Caliber is its thing, and otherwise they're pretty much the same as a Sentinel Guard. So let's have a look at the Adrastus Bolt Caliber. Now, I'm just going to go back up, see where they were. Look at that, awesome, right? So Adrastus Bolt Caliber. So they've got 2 fire modes. bolt volley, 30-inch range, strength 5, AP 4, heavy 3, or a disintegration beam, strength 12, range 12 inches, strength 5, AP 2, assault 1, instant death, armor bane, gets hot. So it's a heavy bolter basically with a slightly less range, with a melter gun with lower damage, like lower strength, like attached to it. So they're really useful. So it's like a heavy bolter basically. So let's nip back down to where they were on the heavy support. I'm guessing about there. No. Cock that one up on that, right. There we go. Cool. So 185 points. So that's pretty much the same. Like I said, there's no sergeant or anything for the squad, so it's pretty much just 65 points to go. So they've got 30-inch range, strength 5, AP 4, heavy 3. Really useful. So they're going to be apart from the Coronis Grav Carrier and then the Grav Palace Attack, they're going to be your biggest firepower pretty much. Like, and some of the cheapest. 65 points each is still quite a lot. But then again, same as a lot of them, it reminds me a bit like the Death Watch in 40k, where they've just got a lot of options, basically, where you can have the same army and you sort of build them different, like different lists. Are going to be relatively similar, I think. But yeah, really cool. I think so far that's the only Adrastis Bolt caliber we've seen. So that's what they've got. And they're just relatively expensive. So anyway, this squad, if you had 3, for example, 185 points, and you're going to have 9 heavy bolter shots at 30-inch range, which is good. It is good. And it's going to be... I don't know. Again, I'm not sure about the maths and things. If you were comparing this to one of the Palace Attack, if you got a squadron of 2 Palace Attack for 170 points, say, I'm not sure whether they would outshoot 3 of these guys. They'd have a higher range and be much more manoeuvrable. So I would favour going with the Fast Attack, the Palace Attack, or just going for normal Custody, the Custodian Guard, or the Sentinel Guard squad, and then just giving them the dedicated transports for 135, and then maybe try and spam the dedicated transports, basically. For their cool heavy weapons, because they've got some awesome weaponry on them for 135. So like, I would be tempted to do that, to be completely honest. But yeah, that's what they are, and they're cool little miniatures as well. Like the actual models themselves, the bolt guns, like they look like massive shotguns or some shit. It's fucking cool. And then the helmets, like cool helmets. So again, if you did buy some of those, obviously you get the full box set of the Custodian Guard or the Sentinel Guard box set. So like, you get a load of stuff left over. So like, if you're using the heads, arms, shoulders, and like the bolt guns from the conversion kit, you would have a shitload of stuff left over. So if you're into that sort of stuff, or you use eBay, or you're on some of the trading groups online, you could sell the spare heads for a quid each or something. I bet people would pay it. So heavy support. Legio Custodes Caladius Grav tank. So this dude, basically, they released this one. It was at the Horus Heresy. I think it was a weekender at... I don't know whether it was this year, to be honest. It might be the end of last year. And they released this miniature, and it's like 85 quid or whatever. And people were scalping them on eBay for about £200. And it really did my... Because people were like, we're going sort of mad for them, and you basically double your money if you sell them on eBay, and like people kept buying it as well. And again, I don't want to get into like moaning about scalping and stuff like that, but super excited with these ones. And when they first came out, that was when we saw the rules for them for the first time, before Horus Heresy Book 7 Inferno came out, and they saw that these were going to be like Grav skimmer tanks basically. And we saw then that it had the twin-linked Lastrum bolt cannon, which is like a heavy bolter basically, and then the twin turret-mounted twin-linked Iliastus accelerator cannon, which is like a Sicaran battle tank basically. It's strength 7 AP 4, and it's got like 4 attacks with I forget what it has, but it's got a few different fucking cool things. So 195 points, and then ballistic skill 5, front and side armor 13, rear 11, 3 hull points. So no, it's just fucking... Oh, it's so good. And if you give it the blaze cannon as well, you can have the extra strength 8. You get the gets hot and stuff, but who cares about that? So, it's just one dude. You can't take him in squads, can you? No. So, it's just a one standalone guy. So, it is going to suck up your heavy support quite a bit. But I think I would much rather have one of these tanks with that awesome Iliastus accelerator cannon and the flare shield, I would rather have one of them than I would have a squad of 3 Sagittarium Guard. I suppose it's a similar amount of shots basically, but it's fast skimmer, 3 hull points, front and side armor 13. So unless you've got strength 7 weapons, you're not getting anywhere near it. It's -2 to hit in close combat, which means most of the time it's going to be 5 up. 3 3 hull points, pretty good. And out of all the heavy support, I think the Sagittarium Guard are the weakest. And I would like this one in particular. It looks fucking cool, but also similar points and it's got better weapons. Essentially, the design of them is beautiful, and I would prefer that. And I think it's not cheaper. In fact, actually, I think that costs 85 quid or like 100 quid or something. It's like it would be cheaper to get 2 squads of 5 Sagittarium Guard, and you'd have 10, and then points per pound sort of thing. Like you're better off doing that than the Calidus grav tank, but still this one's just better, so that's what I would do. And if you think it has a similar sort of it's a similar accelerator cannon to the Sicaran battle tank for any of the Space Marine legions. So if you think how popular Sicarans are, or how good a Sicaran or Sicaran, how you pronounce it, if you think how good and how popular they are with people, especially in tournaments and on the sort of competitive scene, this is the Custodes or the Custodes equivalent weapon. So really, really good. I'm just loving it. Like I just love the way they are, like the little I don't know, like the design of the thing itself. The 2 little wings on the side, the little arms on the side, and it reminds me of almost like a spider, almost, with the body in the center and then the legs coming out of the front and on a flying stand and stuff like that. Really, really good. So, how many more of these have we got? 2. Right, so almost done. Right, so second to last, Legio Custodes, Contemptor, Galatus, Dreadnought. So weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 5, strength 8, 13, 13, 11, initiative 5, 4 attacks, 3 hull points. So similar to the previous, the Dreadnought, but this is a heavier one, heavier support as opposed to elite, and 250 points. It's slightly more expensive. It's got Galatus Warblade with inbuilt twin-linked Infernus Incinerator, which is like heavy flamer pretty much. The Dreadnought Presidium Shield, smoke launchers, searchlight, refractor field, extra armor, fleet, move through cover, and counterattack. So Galatus Warblade is a huge power blade wielded by the Dreadnought as easily as a Sentinel Guard might their own sword. The Galatus signature weapon is able to shear through the ranks of armoured troops with a single pass, while its inbuilt incinerator is equally designed to swiftly purge a numerically superior army. So strength times 2, so strength 16, strength 10, AP 2, shred and rampage, which is bloody cool. And again, 4 attacks, which is a lot. Dreadnought Presidium Shield, essentially a scaled up version of the prototype energy field reinforced battle shield carried by the Sentinel Guard of the Legio Custodes. The Dreadnought Presidium Shield makes the Contemptor Galatus a truly formidable defensive element in any Legio Custodes battle line, a bulwark option which the strongest shock attack might break and shatter. When subject to attacks originating from its front arc or in assault, the model may re-roll failed invulnerable saves. In addition, attacks made in assault against it, other than gargantuan units, suffer a -1 penalty to hit. Note that this penalty has no effect on attacks which hit automatically. So, really good. There's not many things that hit automatically in combat, obviously. There's only a few like special rules and a few examples of that. So pretty much you got -1 against anything in combat with it, and then if it's sort of Terminators with power fists or something like that, that you'd be going taking it on, you'd be hitting it on 5s pretty much, because your weapon skill 6. So if your weapon skill 4, it's either 5s or 6s. If you've got a 3, for example, you're hitting on a 6, which is going to be difficult as it is. And then obviously it's attacks back. It's got 4, strength 10, AP 2 attacks, and then front arc, it can reroll its refractor field saves. So it's a good combination of like shooting defensive and then also defensive in the assault phase. Its weakness is that the Presidium shield is only attacks in its front arc. But even then, it can reroll the 5-up, so it's like refractor field's a 5-up in it. So it is useful, really, really useful to have that. But obviously, it's only in its front. So if you can sort of outflank and get the side, maybe. But then, even then, it's got side 13, so good. And then 3 hull points as well, really useful. So the last one, the Warlord Sinister Pattern Battle Psi Titan, which is a Lord of War, obviously, 3,250 points. It's got Weapon Skill 2, Ballistic Skill 4, Strength D, Front 15, Side 15, Rear 14. So it's immune to anything other than Strength 9, basically, like las cannons and better. Initiative 1, 3 attacks, 30 hull points. Super Heavy Walker. It's got a Bellicosa Pattern Volcano Cannon. Let's have a little check what that is. No idea. I've no idea what that does. Okay. Sinistramanus Tenebrae. I don't know what that is either. 2 carapace mounted Apocalypse missile launchers, 2 Ardex Defensor Morlet bolt cannon turrets, 2 rear mounted Ardex Defensor twin las cannon turrets, armor Taramite, and the Siricrux Anima. Bloody hell. Fear, Hammer of Wrath, Invincible Behemoth, Move Through Cover, Relentless, Smash and Strike Down, Reactor Meltdown, Towering Monstrosity, 6 Void Shields, Reinforced Structure, Worldborn Burner, and Shroud of Terror. Bloody hell. It can exchange its Bellicosa Pattern Volcano Cannon for one of the following weapons, Sun Fury Plasma Annihilator, Mori Quake Cannon, Saturnine Las Cutter, Ariok Titan Power Claw with inbuilt Mega Bolter, Macro Gatling Blaster. Both of these carapace mounted weapons, Apocalypse missile launchers, may be exchanged for the following weapon types: 2 double barrel turbo laser destructors, 2 twin linked Vulcan mega bolters, 2 Titan mega blast guns. Sorry, Titan blast guns, not mega. I had a mega in there. Or for 100 points, 2 Reaver laser blasters, 2 Reaver melter cannons, 2 Reaver Gatling blasters. For 150, 2 Vortex missile banks, and for 75, 2 Incinerator missile banks. Jesus. So special rules: Reactor Meltdown. So, on the catastrophic damage table, D6, 1 is an explosion with strength D, 8, and 4. So the blast range is 12 inches, 24 inches, and 36 inches respectively. So if the result is a 1, within 12 inches it's strength D, 24 inches it's strength 8, and 36 strength 4, AP 2, 3, and 5. If you roll a 2 or a 3, it's a devastating explosion, which is strength D, strength 10, and strength 6, AP 2, 3, and 4. Or if you roll a 4 to a 6, there's a strength D explosion up to 36 inches away in any direction with AP 1 or 2. It's gonna. It's just like a. Well, I don't know, like a sun exploding or something. Cool. Void Shield 6. Well, the model's Void Shield. I can't speak. What is with that? I can't speak. While the model's third time is a charm. Void Shields are active. Any hits scored against the Warlord. Shooting attack, sorry. Against its. I don't know what's going on here. Why can't I talk? I've just completely lost the ability to communicate. While the model's void shields are active, any hits scored by shooting attacks against it strike its void shields instead. The Warlord has 6 void shields, each with an armor value of 12. A glancing hit or penetrating hit, or any hit by a destroyer weapon scored against a shield, causes it to collapse. After this, further to it, strike the original target instead. At the end of each controlling player's turns, roll a d6 for each shield collapse. On a roll of a 5+, instantly restores it. That's cool. Reinforced structure as a 5+ invulnerable save against any attacks that have breached the void shield. World Burner. The Warlord Titan may use any of its blast marker weapons to target areas in the battlefield rather than enemy units if it wishes, which can destroy buildings and ruins, which is cool. Towering Monstrosity, Warlord. Warlord Titan may only be hit on a 6 by infantry, on monstrous creatures of any type in assault, and on a 5 or a 6 by super heavy walkers and gargantuan creatures in assault. The Warlord Titan may never be locked in an assault. The Warlord Titan is completely immune to the effects of haywire attacks, dangerous terrain, psychic attacks other than witchfire powers, which it must attempt to damage it normally. The Warlord Titan stomp attacks use a 5-inch large blast template. The Warlord Titan's carapace metal weapons may not target models closer than 24 inches from its hull, unless they are flyers, flying monstrous creatures, or super heavy vehicles at the gargantuan monstrous creatures. Crazy. I've never really read the rules for that, but it's like 3,500 points and 1,250 quid. So this is the last entry. This was it, Siricrux Anima. In place of the Moderati, who would normally crew a Battle Titan, a Psi Titan is instead crewed by the Damned, bound Psychers who are surgically locked in place and enslaved to the will of the Preceptor Intendant, who masters the God Engine in place of the Princeps. By direct cortical control, the powers of the slave Psychers are siphoned off and focused by the arcane technology in the Siricrux Anima, the baleful device that truly makes the Psi Titan what it is. The Warlord Sinister has the Psychic Pilot special rule and the Psychic Mastery level of 3. Instead of generating its powers from Psychic disciplines as normal, it always has access to the 3 unique powers listed here instead. Death Pulse, Warp Charge 1. The Psi Titan unleashes a seething pulse of energy, the hatred and murderous torment of the Psychers trapped within made manifest. 24-inch range, Strength 4, AP 5, Assault D6. Ignores cover and Soul Blaze. Necrotechica. Warp Charge 2. What does it do? It's a blessing which targets a Psi Titan. Roll a d6 for every hull point the Titan has previously lost. For each roll of a 5+, 1 hull point is regained. Jesus, it can give itself... It's Warp Charge 2, right? It can give itself all the hull points back on a 5+. Oh, it's terrifying. So it's got 30 hull points, right? So if all its void shields are down and it's lost 28 hull points, it can roll 28 d6 and on a 5+, it'll get that many back. Oh my god. So that's like a third of them. So it's getting 33% of its hull points back if you get this warp charge off. Antipathic Tempest, which is a witchfire, which targets warp charge 3, which targets a point on the table between 24 and 60 inches away from the Psi Titan. All units, including flyers, within 24 inches of the target point are affected. All vehicles suffer D3 automatic hits with the Haywire special rule. AP4 and ignores cover, while all the units with a toughness value suffer D6 automatic hits per 5 full models in the unit. Strength 5, AP4, ignores cover and Soul Blaze. Pretty good. So it puts a point down, and then anything within 24 inches of that target is affected, which means that 24 inches in one direction and then 24 inches in the exact opposite direction gives that sort of a 48-inch bubble where everything inside that is affected. All vehicles suffer D3 automatic hits with haywire, which ignores cover. That's really useful. That's really good. Bloody hell. And then all units with toughness value suffer D6 automatic hits with strength 5, AP4 per 5 models though. So shit, like a squad of 5s. Oh, bloody hell. So what happens there if there's less than 5 units? 5 models in the unit, sorry. I don't think anything happens actually. Well, all units with a toughness value suffer D6 automatic hits per 5. But it doesn't say what happens if there's 3 of them. Interesting. Shroud of Terror. Unless it is immune to fear, any unit which is in 12 inches of the Psi Titan at the start of the controlling player's turn must make a morale check. In addition, unless immune to fear, any unit attempting to charge the Psi Titan must pass a leadership test at -3. If it is failed, it must fall back as if it had failed the morale check. And then the Sinistramanus Tenebrae. A unique and nightmarishly powerful weapon whose designation is common parlance can be literally rendered the left hand of darkness. Ooh. That's pretty cool, isn't it? That's pretty badass. Right. Struck by the baleful power of the Sinistramanus Tenebrae, is torn apart and its debris hurled into the beyond, and is surely as they were blasted by a vortex missile. While those in the wider area of the impact are struck dead, their bodies left unmarked as if their souls had been sheared from their bodies. So 120 inch range, strength D, X apostrophe, or 2X apostrophe, AP 1, 2, or 3. Right. Heavy 1, apocalyptic mega blast, pinning, ignores cover, concussive, vortex, in a circle only. Flesh bane on a 2+. Middle circle only. Poison 4+ on an outer circle only. Flipping out. Right, Jesus Christ. Well, there you go. It's worth 3,500 points, isn't it? 3,250. And here's the super cool Legio Custodes Contemptor Galatus Dreadnought. Again, you can pause that and read this bit at the bottom if you want. Really cool. So that's your lot. That's everything. The next one is the Mechanicum Tagmata Rules Appendix, and I've not gone through that a little bit yet. So I will do little review videos and like everything else. If there's any point you want to pause through this is like a high quality thing, so you can have a good gander around some of the rules and stuff. Other than that, that's your lot. So I'm super excited to collect these. Like I said, there's a few different things that I'm definitely going to do. A few different units that really jump out to me. I really like the transports, the Coronus Grav Carrier as a transport, and I really like pretty much most of the Custodes squads. So my list so far, I really like Valdor. I know he's a lot of points, I don't care. It's probably Valdor and the Hecacon Guard or something, the Hectaron Guard, or Sentinel Guard, with the Coronus Grav Carriers, some other troops. I like one of these dreadnoughts, I'm not quite sure, they're the Contemptor Galatus, or maybe the other one, I'll have to have a look. The Calidus Grav Tank. Now, yeah, actually, fuck this Galatus dreadnought off. I want a few of these. Fast attack is going to be 3 to 6 of these bikes, and then we'll see how many points that is. So I will do a separate video explaining what my list is, what the cheapest list you can build is in terms of points and versus money, and then what the most expensive lists are in terms of money, and make it sort of efficient. And my plan, pretty much, the way I sort my army out is going to be a comparison between fluff and enjoyment, if you want, like what I actually want to build, competitiveness in the game, and then basically price. So I'm going to make a few example army lists out of this book, and like I said, I'm going to compare how much it's going to cost. Basically, I'm going to see what's efficient, and as I'm doing that, I'll make a video, because I know some people like that sort of stuff, like going over the numbers and some of the price costings and things like that. So I will do that as a separate video, and then I'll come back to these things. I'll do a similar sort of review series, so you can see all the rules and stuff like that. And I really appreciate people watching. I've met some awesome people on YouTube, so that's really cool, and I'm excited for that. But I'm not sure whether you're supposed to show all the rules like this. I know on some of the forums online, you're not allowed to even mention the rules, like, officially. So if anything I'm doing here is like against the rules or anything like that, it's not allowed. I'm sure either YouTube or somebody will let me know, and I'll just take them down straight away. But there you go, you can see everything, like you can just see it all. And there's a load of different things online that you can find for free and stuff as well. So there it is. So that's your lot. Talons of the Emperor review, Horus Heresy, Book 7, Inferno. Cheers for watching.